Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe cooking channel. Today we're going to fire up our Big Joe back here instead of the classic, and we're going to make a pan of dinner rolls, and we're going to use a cast iron pan. And this recipe today comes from the Finex website, and that's the company that made these pans that I'm using. So I'm basing on that recipe, making a few minor changes. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I've got a measuring cup here with 1/4 of a cup of warm water. I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of active dry yeast and about a tablespoon of sugar, and I'm going to mix that together, and we're going to set this aside and just kind of let that yeast hydrate in the warm water with the sugar. Next thing I'm going to do, I've got a small saucepan here over low heat. I'm going to add 1 1/4 cups of milk, 1/4 of a cup of butter, and 5 tablespoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. And I'm just going to warm that up until that butter melts. Okay, I've lit a fire in the firebox of the Big Joe, so we're going to set up for indirect cooking. I'm going to put my heat deflectors in place. Then I'm going to set both grill grates in the upper position. And today I'm going to use the I command to control the temperature on the grill. So I'm going to put the probe in place, and I'm going to cook at 400 degrees. So I'm going to use the phone app to start the I command and let it start doing its thing. We're going to close the lid, let this guy stabilize at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. After that butter's melted, that milk is just lukewarm here. I'm going to add 1 beaten egg, and then we're going to mix in our yeast and sugar mixture that we've had rising up over here. That stuff's really bubbling like crazy, and I'm going to stir that up to get that combined. In my KitchenAid mixer bowl, I've got 4½ cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm just going to put our yeast, butter, and milk mixture in here with that, and I'm just going to take my wooden spoon and we're going to stir that and let it get complete. And when it looks about like that, I'm going to call that done. It's not completely combined. It doesn't have to be completely mixed and dried, but we're going to cover this and let this rest here for 15 minutes. Okay, after I've let that rest for 15 minutes, we're going to put it in the mixer and we're going to knead it for about 5 minutes. Okay, after I've got the kneading done, we're going to roll that out of the mixing bowl onto a floured work surface here, and I'm going to kind of spread this out to where we can divide this into maybe 15 to 18 equal size pieces. Okay, so I ended up with about 16 here. They're not all exactly the same size, but I'm going to cover those up, and we're going to let those rise here for about 30 minutes. Okay guys, after those have risen, I've taken my 12-inch cast iron pan. I have greased this pan and I've placed all of these I could get in there. I came up too short of being able to fit them all. So now we're going to take those out and put them on the Joe. Okay guys, I've got the classic running along here. I've got the Big Joe running along here at 400 degrees. We're going to put these guys right in the middle here, and we're going to let them cook for 10 to 12 minutes. Okay guys, we've been going about 17 minutes here, and I'm pretty happy with the way these look. They're nicely brown on top. So I'm going to take these off and we're going to keep going. Okay guys, while these are still hot, I'm going to baste the tops of these with a little melted butter. I wish you could smell this. There's a beautiful yeast roll smell here. As you know, we put a lot of yeast in it. And after we get that butter base, I'm going to sprinkle on some really coarse salt. This is called Maldon sea salt. It's a coarser grained salt than most, and we just want to get some nice flakes of that right on top here. And guys, these are ready to serve. So give this a try. Let me know what you think. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/KamadoJoe. Follow us on Twitter @KamadoJoe. And until next time, this is John Setzler with the Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.